understanding how to convey your message and how to use that in a way to provide something that's going to help someone solve a problem that they have, I think that's a really good thing. At this point, it really shouldn't be a surprise to you that video is what's now and what's in the future. It shouldn't be a surprise that, 65% of all marketers want to produce more video. And it shouldn't be a surprise that people are 4 times more likely to watch a video about a product than read about it. I think we all know that video is what we want to be producing and it's the best way to produce things. But do you really understand why? And I think that's what's important here. When you understand the why, when you understand the internal workings of what makes this so powerful, then you can really start to harness the true potential of what video can do. So instead of giving you a bunch of statistics about why you should use video, what we're going to talk about are 5 psychological factors that kind of underpin what makes video so important. And so I'm going to kind of go over these really quickly. I'm not going to get into a bunch of depth. I don't have a PhD. I'm not a trained psychologist, but you can certainly look these up and read about them too. So the first one is the mere exposure effect. And this is just based on familiarity. And we as humans will gravitate towards things that we are more familiar with. And we will trust the things that we are more familiar with without any data to back it up. It's just seeing something more often will allow you to gravitate to it more. The second is mirror neurons. And essentially by watching somebody's face and body language, it creates a pattern in your own brain like you're experiencing it. So it's like meeting me over the camera, meeting me over video is a little bit like meeting me in real life. And that is an important factor in building that familiarity and trust. The third one is social proof and authority. By me even talking enthusiastically about video, it conveys more credibility than if you were to read it in something that I wrote. Building off of that is the fourth one, and that's emotional contagion. So if I'm like, oh, we're talking about video, that's not very inspiring. But if you hear me say, we're talking about video today, and this is awesome, and you're going to find out why it's awesome, that's a connection that we have now, because if you have that same interest in understanding or learning more about video, then you're going to connect with me there. That connection kind of leads back to all these other pieces that we're talking about. Nonverbal communication. This is the fifth one. So 93%, I told you it wasn't going to be statistics, but there's one, of all of our communication is nonverbal. So me waving my hands and smiling and nodding and doing all these things, these are parts of the connection that we have. And so I can communicate with you without saying a lot, even though I do talk a lot, but I can communicate with you in a lot of ways. And that could be if I'm smiling or if I'm frowning or if I'm pointing over here. There's a lot of little tricks in print advertising of like using angles and pointing and where people's eyes go that make you look in those directions too. So there's a lot of nonverbal communication that goes on in marketing in general. And when we see and talk to each other, it's way more powerful. And I think, we've also started to realize, when COVID came around and we all jumped on to, virtual meetings, that was useful. It was necessary. It was helpful. And we use a lot of it now. But now think about when you get to meet somebody in person and how much better that feels now. And a lot of that is because you can see the rest of their body. You can see how they're sitting, how they're crossing their legs, how they're leaning in. All of these are nonverbal communication elements. And they're really, really, really important to us as humans. So that's a huge, huge piece. The last one is speed of trust. First impressions are made in 10 seconds or less, and video can help with that. Again, written content, static social images, those don't really give that, right? A picture kind of can. You can decide whether you like somebody from a picture or not, but it's not going to be as impactful as it will on video. So hopefully understanding the psychology behind it can kind of help you understand maybe how to structure your videos a little bit better, how to use them as a tool, not just to educate people, but to influence people. And by understanding those elements, you can help move people farther down the funnel to purchase your products and services. And obviously it's not like, hey, let's manipulate folks. That's not the point of it, but understanding how to convey your message and how to use that in a way to provide something that's going to help someone solve a problem that they have, I think that's a really good thing. And that maybe helps them avoid a mistake that they might be making with an inferior product or service. So if doing great great work, be proud of your work, promote your work, help people to engage with you. You're doing the world a disservice if you're not figuring out how to use video to bring people closer to you. So good luck.